We are less than 2 weeks until the start of preseason, and Dak Prescott still don't have a contract deal. Let's talk about it in the show. Welcome in and welcome back to Per Life for What. I'm your host, Bria. If you're not subscribed to the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with my content. If you're an OG and you've been here rocking me for a while, you already know what to do. Like and share this content. That way I can stay in the algorithm. All right, y'all. I am back. I am back. I know I have been gone for the last couple of days, but it's not much going on right now. We all know that the Olympics is going on, and I probably will tap into some of those games. But right now, we're gonna tap into some football content. We all know preseason is getting ready to start. Like I said at the beginning of the intro video, we are less than 2 weeks into the start of preseason for the Dallas Cowboys. The first game is August the 11th. And Dak Prescott still don't have a contract done, and I think that it's kind of crazy at this point. And it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good for Dak right now, contract wise. And I just want to give my opinion on how I feel. I've been a long time Cowboy fan since I was a kid, right? I love this team. I absolutely been rooting for the Cowboys. But at this point, um, I don't know, man. This organization is really making me feel like I want to switch teams. And it really pains me to say this, but it really makes me feel like that I really want to start rooting for another team because I just hate the way ownership handle business, the way they've been treating Dak and every other player when it comes to having to pay them. The Cowboys always take the cheap route, or they try to throw dirt on somebody's name so they don't have to pay them a contract. And at this point, I'm really starting to get just kind of irritated, and I want to be kind of done with this team. Like, I don't know who I root for because I've been, like I said, I've been a Cowboys fan for a long time, and I just can't bring it to myself to be a Texan. Although I live in Houston, Texas, I cannot bring myself to be a Houston Texans fan. I just can't. Like I said, I've just been rocking out with my Cowboys for far too long. But like I said, man, this ownership has really gotten me to the point where I'm just like, I'm looking at them sideways, right? I feel like when I first started rooting for this team, when I was a surface level fan, let's say that when I was a surface levels fan, I was like, I love the Cowboys. I'm going to all the games. I'm rooting hard. I'm doing all the things right. And then once you become a content creator and you start doing your research, you start watching interviews, you started getting a little bit more knowledge about what the team is really doing and what they're doing behind the scenes. So I think for me, since I've been content creating, like it really have given me a different perspective on the Cowboys and how I feel about them. Now, like I said, I'm to the point where I'm just like, I kind of want to be out because of the ownership. Now, if the Cowboys would trade ownership, I would be ecstatic. I feel like, with Jerry Jones them been doing over the years as far as just being cheap, they don't go after free agents and stuff like that. It just make me be like, this Super Bowl talk is really cap at this point, right? I feel like it's cap only because if Jerry Jones and the ownership wanted to make this team better, they will go out and get better players to make this team a whole lot better than just being in the middle of the pack every year. I feel like I'll give it to them. They draft really well, but when it comes to free agency and going out and get big names, the Cowboys they absolutely they don't do it. But like I said, I'm not gonna make this video about me. This video is about Dak and how I feel like Dak should be going to a different team. I feel like the way they've treated Dak, especially these last, I'll say maybe last 3 years, I'm really to the point where I feel like Dak deserves better and I feel like he deserves to go to another team. And I think Dak will be very successful with other teams because I feel like other organizations, they truly build around their quarterback and bring them in the best players to make that player successful. And I feel like the Cowboys just absolutely, they haven't done it. They have not done it. I think the best thing the Cowboys have done for Dak is when they traded for Amari Cooper. And we all know Amari Cooper is no longer on this team. That was the best thing I feel like they've done to Dak as far as like bringing somebody in to help. Cowboys, they're so big on they go and get these players when they at the end of their road, right? Either the end of their road or they're well past their prime. Like I love Stephon Gilmore, but Gilly is older, right? They wouldn't got Gilly at the end of the contract because why? He's cheaper to get. Now, if you would have got a Gilly back when he was in his prime, Gilly would have cost a lot of money. But like I said, the Cowboys are not they're not big on going out and spending money on big free agent names. They just not gonna do it. Like I said, they wait till these players get to the end of their role or like well over their prime, and then that's when they go grab them up because they feel like, oh, he's still a big name, and at this point we can get them for cheap. So that's what I feel like the Cowboys have done. Now, granted, they did bring in Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks have been 1,000-yard receiver for every team that he's been on. I think last year was the first time that Brandon Cooks didn't get his 1,000 yards. I just feel like his connection with Dak was just kind of 50-50. And I think that's something they will work on more in training camp. And this season, I feel like they'll be a whole lot better. But yeah, Brandon Cooks, I mean, he's getting to that age where you consider to be an older receiver. And when I say older receiver, once you hit that 30, teams start to feel like, okay, he's you kind of like a vet at that point. You an OG. When you get to that 30 mark, you kind of like an OG because in football years, 30 is old, right? Kids come in around like in their early 20s. So like I said, once you get to that 30, once you hit 30, you consider to be kind of in your prime. But like I said, man, Cowboys just haven't done enough for me to make Dak successful. And I know a lot of people probably gonna be in the comments, oh, well, Dak had 9 All-Pros. But at the end of the day, y'all have to understand that football is a team sport. It shouldn't be to put all the pressure and all the weight on the quarterback's shoulders. Now, some quarterbacks can do it, like a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he can carry that weight. But when I feel like Dak Dak is he's a very decent quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak is good. Dak is I'm gonna get you 12 wins. Very, very, very good quarterback. But I feel like Dak is also one of those players where I feel like you have to surround him with talent for him to be successful. But let's go ahead and get into where I think Dak should go, right? Now, some of these are gonna be my picks, and then some of these is gonna be where I feel like it's just financially um he should go, right? So my first pick, we're gonna get into the Raiders, right? I feel like Dak should go over to the Raiders. They have a great coach. I like Antonio Pierce, and what Antonio Pierce did last year with his team, he really turned them around at the end, gained a lot of confidence. He instilled a lot of confidence in his players, and I feel like the people on that team, they really love Antonio Pierce. I would love to see Dak go over there and get under an Antonio Pierce. I feel like they will have a great relationship, and Dak will be a great player over there. Also, as we all know, Dak will have a weapon. Devontae Adams is there. Devontae Adams has been a top 10 receiver in this league for a long time, and I feel like you match Dak up with a Devontae Adams, it's just like having a CD Lamb. You match him up with a Devontae Adams, I feel like they would go crazy over there, right? And also they have a decent running back. Uh I think his name was Jacob. He used to be there. He's not there anymore. They still have Zamir White and some other running backs over there. They have a decent running back room, so I feel like the run game will be it will be okay. And then of course they have a good defense. They have a really good defense over there. They got a Max Crosby, who's another big name on defense over there. So I feel like Dak will fit really well with going over to the Raiders. The only thing about going to the Raiders is he will have to compete with Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is also in this division. So yeah, Dak will have to go and see um Patrick Mahomes twice a year. I mean, it is what it is. That's the only thing. That would be my only reason. Um not my only reason, my only con with Dak going over to the Raiders, he would have to go over there and go against, like I said, Patrick Mahomes twice a year. And of course, in this division, you have Justin Hubert, which I don't think that will be an issue. I think Dak is better than Justin Hubert, so I don't think he'll have an issue there. And then right now, of course, Denver don't have a quarterback because they didn't send Russell Wilson over um to the Steelers. So yeah, I don't he ain't really got no big competition over there as when it comes to the quarterback with Denver. Like I said, the only con about him going to this division, which is the AFC West, is that like I said, he will have to go against Patrick Mahomes twice a year. So we're gonna get right into the next team that I have on my list here. I think Dak will be a good fit for the Saints. I like the New Orleans Saints. Right now, of course, they do have Derek Carr. They have Derek Carr as their quarterback, but of course, the Saints. I did a little digging. The Saints could get rid of Carr, right? So in 2025. He could be a a post June 1st cut, which would be it will be 50 million against their cap, which they can spread it out. But I think that's something the Saints would be willing to do. Get off of a Derek Carr who hasn't been playing fairly well, anyways. Get off of Derek Carr and move on to a Dak Prescott who would elevate this team instantly. I think Dak is a whole lot better than Derek Carr. So I think the Saints will be willing to eat that 50 million and dead money just to move on from Derek Carr and then bring in a Dak Prescott. Now Dak is from Louisiana. I feel like he will be going home. That's why I feel like this is a great destination for him. And of course, as you know, we all know, like the Saints have been known for their defense. They've had a really good defense in the last few years. Last year they finished just out of the top 10. They finished number 11 in defense last year. But like I said, the Saints has always been known to have a really good defense. And of course, we all know they still have Alvin Kamara over there as their running back. Um, they have a really good running back room over there. Alvin Kamara and what's the other guy name? Charles. I can't Jamal Charles. They have Jamal Charles as well too. So I feel like they have a decent running back room. They have a Chris Olave over there for a receiver. Like I said, I feel like this would be a really good fit for Dallas. And then of course you're going over to the NFC South, which it'll be a cakewalk for Dak, right? You have to go against Baker Mayfield. Dak is better than Baker Mayfield. He will be going against Kirk Cousins. We all know Kirk Cousins has been injury prone. Kirk be up and down, so I feel like Dallas could. It'll be a cakewalk over there. He can get past Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is at the end of his road, and I feel like Dak is better than Kirk Cousins anyway. And of course, and then you going into the division where you got to go against Bryce Young and the Panthers, still a young quarterback that has a lot of great upside. But of course, like I said, Dak is better than everybody in that division. So I feel like Dak can go to the NFC South, and I feel like he can absolutely run that division. So, like I said, I feel like the Saints will be a very good landing spot for it. For Dak Prescott. Like I said, he gets to go back home. You have a good receiver over there. Um, you have a good defense that's always kind of like in the top 10. And then, like I said, you have a good receiver over there in Chris Olave. And they had Michael Thomas. I looked it up, but I don't really know what's going on with Michael Thomas. I don't know if they moved on for him or what, but I didn't see him on a roster. So if anybody know, put it down in the comments. Where is Michael Thomas? I know he was over there at one point, but like I said, when I looked it up, I did not see him on the roster. But so we're gonna get into what I feel like is not my not my best destinations for Dak, but I feel like financially he would probably be a great fit for these teams. Finances wise, he would be a great fit. And the first one on my list, I have the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I don't know if I absolutely just if I would just love Dak in this division. I'm just not a big fan of the Steelers. Never have been a big fan of them, but I do like Mike Tomlin. I think Dak being under the leadership of Mike Tomlin, I think Dak will be a very good quarterback. I feel like Mike Tomlin would do anything to make his team successful and make his quarterback successful. We all seen it with Big Ben, so I feel like Dak going to go under Mike Tomlin's leadership. I feel like Dak will be an even better quarterback than he is now. The only downfall if Dallas was, I mean to Dallas, I'm saying Dallas. The only downfall if Dak was to go over to the Steelers, which is the AFC North. Now you have to go against Lamar Jackson twice a year. And we all know Lamar Jackson, the type of player he is. He was the MVP last year. Great player, right? So I think that'd be kind of tough. You have to go to look against Lamar type twice a year, and then you got the Browns, who also in this division. You were going against Deshaun Watson. Now, I don't know what Deshaun Watson. He hasn't been looking that great on the Browns, but when he was in Houston, we all know what Deshaun Watson was, an electric quarterback. But like I said, since he's been on the Browns, of course, you know he was going through his whole fiasco with the massage stuff. But outside of that, we really haven't seen Deshaun Watson play much for the Browns. Maybe this year we'll get to see him play. I think last year he was out with an injury. So like I said, Deshaun Watson is in this division. And also you got Joe Burrow. I mean, we all know who Joe Burrow is. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. So he'll be going against Joe Burrow twice a year. And I feel like I said, this is a tough division. Like this would be a very, very tough division for Dak to win in. Like I said, I think he's better than Deshaun Watson. But going against a Joe Burrow and going against a Lamar Jackson, I feel like, those are top 10 quarterbacks. Not saying Dak is not a top 10. Dak is a top 10 quarterback as well, but I feel like those are different caliber quarterbacks. And I feel like Dak being in this division, not saying that he wouldn't survive, but I feel like this would be a tough division for Dak to be in. But then again, you never know. People take that challenge and that might just elevate his game to make him want to be better. So, like I said, the Steelers, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite destination, and not a lot of y'all is probably saying, "Well, he can't go to the Steelers because they got Russell Wilson and they got Justin Fields." Yeah, they do, but they're also on 1 year contracts. After next year, if the Steelers feel like Russell Wilson didn't do well, if they feel like Justin Fields didn't do well, they can move on for them because they're on a 1 year deal over there. And then of course, the Steelers have a $70 million. Next year they'll have a $70 million cap space. So they got $70 million that they can spend and cap next year. So like I said, they got Justin Fields, Russell Wilson on a 1 year deal. They can move off of them if they feel like either one of these guys don't pan out to what they need them to be. They can move on and then bring in a Dak Prescott and they can give Dak that money. So like I said, financial wise, I feel like that can go over here. And of course, you got a great running back over there. You got Najee Harris over there. You got a great receiver over there in George Pickens. Also Van Jefferson is over there. And then of course on defense you have TJ Watt. So I feel like this will be a change for Dak. You go from the NFC, you'll be in the AFC now, going against different quarterbacks. Like I said, this could make Dak elevate his game. Like I said, he's going into a tough division where you're going against a Burrow, when you're going against a Lamar Jackson. This can absolutely help him elevate his game because I feel like Dak is not a player that's going to back down from a challenge anyway. So I feel like him going to this division will elevate his game. Now, the last team that I have on this list is a team that's already in our division in NFC East. The Giants. The Giants could absolutely move on from Daniel Jones next year. They can eat that money. I know they gave him a big contract, but I feel like they would eat that money just to get a Dak Prescott and keeping him in the division so he can go against Dallas twice a year. It'll be a petty move, but I don't see Dak doing that. Dak is not a petty dude. I don't think Dak will even want to go consider himself going to be a New York Giant and putting that jersey on. If anything, like I said, I can see Dak going to the AFC or staying in the NFC, going to the Saints. But yeah, that's how I kind of I feel about um this whole Dak situation right now. Like I said, I just feel like ownership the ownership, they just have to do better by the players. They should have done better by Dak. They should have been had this deal done. Like I said, we're less than 2 weeks before the start of preseason, and the deal is still not done. Now a lot of people are still hoping that they get this deal done before the first actual real game, which is in September, starts. But I feel like at this point, if I'm Dak, I would just absolutely just leave. I would just leave. I know Dak probably want to be a long time Cowboy. He wants to retire Cowboy. But like I said, at this point, I feel like they don't respect him. They don't believe in him. I seen an interview earlier today where they asked Jerry Jones, was Dak better than Jordan Love? Then of course Jerry Jones danced around the question, right? He danced around it. Well, he can just absolutely say yes. Like, I believe in Dak. I think Dak is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love did beat Dak head to head in that playoff game, but like I said, at the end of the day, Dak is proven to be a consistent quarterback. Now, Jordan Love, we only got a small sample size of Jordan Love. If I'm not mistaken, this was his first year that he started the complete first year. So I don't have a big sample size of Jordan Love to be like Jordan Love is better than Dak Prescott. So like I said, Jerry Jones could have absolutely just said, "Hey, this is my quarterback. Yes, absolutely, we believe in Dak, and he is better than Jordan Love." So yeah, and I think the reason why they asked him that because Jordan Love did just get that big contract from the Packers. I think they gave him $212 million. So I think that's about what, 55 million a year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a little less. I'm not really looking at the calculator, but somewhere around there between 53 and 55 per year. So yeah, man, I just feel like that this organization, they just absolutely don't believe in Dak. And I understand why. Kind of understand why they kind of don't believe in Dak, only because of his playoff woes. They feel like Dak should be doing a whole lot better in the playoffs. Like I said, Dak has been a 12-5 quarterback for the last 2 years, but when they get to the playoffs, he has absolutely fell apart. And I'm like I said, this is polite for what, so I gotta be honest. Although I want Dak to move on, I have to be honest. Dak he hasn't had the best success in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, I feel like football is a team sport, right? Team sport. The whole team fell apart in the playoffs, defense as well. So I don't want to put everything on Dak Prescott and say that Dak is just terrible, because like I said, it is a team sport. Like I said, now Dak has come up short in some of these playoff games where he absolutely should have played better. But like at the end of the day, Cowboys, they can move off of Dak, but who are they gonna go out and it's gonna be better than Dak? Who y'all gonna get? A lot of people keep saying, "Oh, Dak is gonna I mean not Dak. Oh, Dallas can go and get Shador. He's coming out of college. Yeah, but Dallas is not gonna have a top 10 or top 10 or a top 5 pick, and that's what Shador is gonna be at. Shador is gonna be a top 5 pick. So Dallas is not going to be able to move all the way up unless they give up draft picks to do it. And Dallas is absolutely not gonna do that. So I think Dallas would just take their chances on either Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. So hey man, like I said, at the end of the day, I just feel like the Dallas Cowboys got to get a whole lot better with the way they treat their players. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys kind of feel like that when we're still living in the 90s, that people just want to have that star on the side of their helmet. Like it's not like that no more. Like nobody's just on their head to want to come and be a cowboy at the end of the day. Like I feel like ownership should really get in their head that you have to go out and get players to make this team better. Like they had the opportunity to go and get Derrick Henry, and they absolutely didn't even reach out to Derrick Henry to see if he was even interested to come to the Cowboys. Like I said, they do stuff like that where they feel like, oh, well, if they want to play for us, then they should come to us. We're not reaching out to them. Like I said, you are in a new time. This is not the 90s anymore. You have to get rid of that old mindset. If you want to make this team better, you have to go and out and get better players at the end of the day. It is what it is. Nobody's breaking their neck to want to come and be a Cowboy. I feel like the Cowboy is like the Lakers of the NFL. And when I say that because the Lakers is the ultimate destination that people want to go to, but it's just about the glitz and the glam. Now, you might not win over there. You might not win. You might not, get another championship right now with the Lakers, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be living in Hollywood. You're gonna be living good. All the celebrities is gonna be at the game. You're gonna get all this recognition because of the organization and what it is. And I feel like it's the same thing with the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys they've been winning. They've been 12-5, but when they get to the playoffs, they haven't been winning. But like I said, Dallas is a destination where, it's the glitz and the glam. Now, like I said, you might not win, but you can come over here and get you a brand deal. Your name gonna get a little bigger. They take nobodies and they become somebody when they come to Dallas. So that's why I said I feel like the Dallas Cowboys is the Lakers of the NFL. So but y'all, this all I had. That was my little rant. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, I'm still gonna be doing basketball content on this page, but right now, as we all know, the Olympics is going on. Like I said, I probably will tap in to some of those games and do a recap. But right now, like I said, football is getting ready to amp up, so I will be doing more football content. And then, of course, whenever the WNBA resumes, I will be doing WNBA content. So that's all I have for you guys. As always, tell a friend to follow me here on YouTube and on Instagram. I have the same handle, polite for what _ podcast. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.